Do you hear that? It's like a shift.
I was just freezing there with like goosebumps the whole time, man. I was like,
Kyle, was that you?
No.
Yo, that was over there.
Kyle, did you do anything?
What the hell was that, Elliot?
oh my god.
Oh, wow. I've never. So, the Cline house in Cornwall, Ontario. I did a lot of digging into this place. I was happy with what I was able to uncover. So there were deaths here. There were 6 deaths here. I could find the death certificates. This is a family household, a notable family in Cornwall. And people died here of genetic causes, heart attacks, aneurysms, stuff like that. We'll go through first, what do they experience here? So the cigar smell in 2 particular areas is experienced regularly. Footsteps and doors opening and closing, they're heard when no one is around. So a new thing, and I kind of tested this out today with the staff here, that the microwave shorts every time it's opened, and it didn't do it for me, but it did do it for her, and I found that kind of interesting. The phone disconnected when they were talking about this investigation. Are the ghosts listening in and messing with the phones? We'll see if we have any internet issues tonight, but the internet's really strong here, so I think we'll be okay for the live feed. The tenants upstairs also hear footsteps very often, and their cat is usually freaking out. And they also smell the smoke. When this was a library, they experienced similar things, the footsteps and the cigar smoke. Recently, the witch thing was pretty interesting, the tea leaf reading, that they got the initials of the previous owners and kind of a visual of who could be Margaret Cline at the fireplace with a cup. This house has never been investigated before, so if there are spirits here, they've never really been confronted to communicate, let's say. So it'll be interesting to see if anything does happen, or maybe nothing will happen. We'll just have to find out. Cline house originally looked like this. This is the original Cline house. Now, the Clines are a loyalist family. They came here after the American Revolution. So here is an image of Johnstown in New York State, and William Johnson is awarding medals here, and this is the town where the Clines come from. And here's a pretty nice graphic of the loyalists along the St. Lawrence River. So this was around the 1780s. They would have migrated here. So if you're not familiar with the American Revolution or who the loyalists are, these were people who were loyal to the crown, and after the Americans won their independence, those loyal to the crown left the United States. And many of them came here along the St. Lawrence. So Michael Cline was the Cline that came, and he was given land by Sir John Johnson here in Cornwall. He was a gunsmith. I found an interesting mention of Michael Cline, and this would be the grandfather of Samuel Cline, who built this house. It's mentioned here that he took part in assisting the rebels, and he said he was forced into it, and he was still loyal to the crown. So I thought that was really interesting piece from the Cline family. His son, John Cline Sr., was also a loyalist who also fought in the American Revolution, and he married Elizabeth Lang, and they had 6 children in 18 years. He died in 1855. Now I'm curious, and I tried to find out if John, who is Samuel's father, lived here, because this house was built in 1854. And in old age, usually you would move in with one of your children. So I couldn't find anything to confirm this, because the census was in 1851 and the next census was in 1861. So 1851 to 1861, I don't know who was living in the household in between those periods. But it could possibly be that he was here when he passed away. Can't prove it, though. Samuel Cline was John Cline Sr.'s son. And here's the only image I could find of this man, Samuel Cline. He is the pipe smoker, cigar smoker spirit that is thought to be here. He did die here. So he died on July 7th, 1908. Samuel Cline was in the military, but he was in the reserves, so he didn't see any type of action or anything like that. We have his marriage record here to Margaret. Impossible to read. The really hard part about doing this type of research is the handwriting on some of these records, which is just crazy. So we'll have to look at the family tree now. So Sam and Elizabeth had many children. You have 10 of them here. 2 of them did not live beyond the first year. Many of them were born here. I think only 2 or 3 of them were born before they moved here. I think I have a little written up thing about the children here now. It was really hard to piece together all of these children and who they are and then who they married. It wasn't that bad. I actually enjoyed looking it up. So Robert Samuel Cline, and this is what I noticed, is that when you had an infant death, when they died early on, if they had another son, they would give that son the same name and not a different name. So that's why you see another, Robert Samuel Cline. So Samuel Robert Cline died in 1854. So that could have been an infant death that occurred here on the property. Not 100% sure because I can't find death certificates from the 1850s. The oldest death certificates I can find is like 1870s, 1880s. So I don't have a death certificate for Robert Samuel Cline the first, but because of the year that he died, it's quite possible they were residing here. Mary Cline was before this house, was 1852, I believe. Charles Herbert Cline was quite a notable lawyer here and police magistrate. He died at his residence on 2nd Street. So that son did not die here. Is it possible his spirit's here? Maybe. So Robert Samuel Cline, he never married. He was an accountant with the solicitor's office, and he resided in this house all of his life, and he did pass away in this home. So this is Robert's death certificate, and he did pass away here of coronary disease or a heart attack. So he definitely passed away here. This address is listed as his place of death. Ida Cline, similar situation. She never married. And it's interesting because in 1921 on the census, in 1911, Robert was the head of the household here. And this is far after, Samuel's passing. But in 1921, for some reason, Ida Cline was the head of household on the census, and Robert was still living there. So I don't know if she purchased the property from Robert. It's really hard to figure that out. But Ida was head of household in 1921, and she was the last Cline child to live here. And she passed away in 1841, and Emily shared a photograph with me. So Ida is the woman second to the left in her older age. And I don't know who the other women are, but it's possibly they're members of the McLennan family and the Hamilton family. They were very tight. So Ida, Robert, 2 people who passed away here. Ida died, I believe, of a brain aneurysm. So here we go. Can we see the cause of death on here? Yeah, cerebral hemorrhage. So I noticed that on the death certificates of the family, it was always a hemorrhage or a heart attack. And Dr. Hamilton is always the doctor signing off on these for this family. And he is a member of the family. So Lena Matisse, husband Ernest Matisse of Montreal. So she moved back to the house and she did pass away here in the house. Now what's interesting is that Ernest was still alive when she moved back here, but he wasn't listed on the census as living here. So I don't know if he was living remotely working or they had a separation, but he was not living here while she was living here, and she did pass away here. And like I said, there's no trauma here. There's been no murders or anything like that, or people taking their life. This is simply, a well-known family who lived and died here, and in most cases were born and died here. And I think that brings a lot of energy to locations. that this is sincerely a Cline family home. So let me find Lena's death certificate here. So here we go. Let me look in and see if I can find the cause. So she had a heart attack. It looks like coronary. It's hard to make out the second word. Yeah, but then when you see the place of death, it gives the address here. Back in those times, most people passed away at home, and the doctor would come here or to the house to offer care. So I don't know what went on between her and Ernest, why she ended up back here, because Ernest was still alive. And I tried to track him down and tried to see if I could find any type of information that might hint to what happened between them. And if Lena is here, then maybe that's some questions we can ask her tonight, or attempt to ask her. So Dr. John Dickinson, and this is kind of a highlight of this investigation. So he died young. He died at the age of 25. He was last listed living here in 1871. He passed away in 1877. And he was the last child of Samuel and Margaret Cline that I was able to track down the death for. And I was so worried because we have an artifact here that's connected to him. And I really needed to know, how did he pass away so young? What happened? He was a doctor at 25 years of age, and he died at the Montreal General Hospital of diphtheria. And this is a bacteria which causes a virus type infection, which, pretty much will take you pretty quickly. So his body was brought back here for the wake and the funeral. His body was viewed here, so they brought it back here for service. So he didn't pass away here, but I'm hoping he might be here. He was engaged at the time to Mary Metchin, a nightingale. And I haven't had a chance to look up what a Florence Nightingale is, but she was training to become one. Miss Annie Cline. So she never married, and she died here in 1921 in the house. She lived here until her death. So Annie is someone that we may try to communicate with tonight. Her cause of death on her death certificate, Anna Maria Cline. So she died at, and you see where they died, 2nd and Amelia, which is right here, the intersection where we're at. And here it just lists off the family members. And hopefully we have, so here it's a cerebral hemorrhage again. So you can really see when you look at family deaths, how your genetic plays a role and what you're predisposed to. So with the Cline family, it's a lot of cerebral hemorrhaging and a lot of heart attacks, heart issues is what we're seeing. And I think for any old family home, I think it's normal that, a lot of family members would pass away at the home. Just like I said before, you wouldn't go to a hospital. You would be at home and a doctor would tend to you, especially if you were a notable family. So we'll move on to Elizabeth Cline. Now, Elizabeth Cline was the wife to Donald Ban McLennan, and he went into business with Charles Herbert Cline. They had a law firm together. He was also a well-known lawyer. She passed away after her husband at the residence on 2nd Street East. I don't know if that was here. I couldn't find their residence. Or maybe I did. Hold on, let me go back and check. So all it said was 2nd Street East is where she passed away, and this house is 2nd Street East. So it could have been here, but I can't be 100% sure that it happened here, because it's quite possible that McLennan had a house on 2nd Street as well. His law office, I know I found that, and that his law office was on 2nd Street. So I don't know. I mean, because she passed away after her husband, it's quite possible that she moved back to her home to be with her sisters who were living here. I'm on the fence. I think 70% she may have passed away here at the Cline house, or she held on to a property. What's really interesting, though, about Elizabeth Cline McLennan is that her daughter Ella shows up on many of the older sister's death certificates as the person who found the body and who brought the attention. So it makes me believe that Ella McLennan, which is listed here of the person who found the deceased, and I blew it up here so you can see, as a niece, I think she was caring for the older sisters when they were here at the Cline house. And I believe that Elizabeth probably moved here, and Ellen was living here as well. Now, we don't have the 1931 census yet. That's coming out in June. So once that comes out, we can take a look, and it may list them there as living there at that time. Now, I learned about Ella from the community. I made a post. And so we're talking about now, in 1955, the Cornwall Library purchased the Cline house and turned it into the library, and then the library moved on. But from that period up to 1955, it was still belonging to members of the Cline family, even if it's more distant. So someone on Facebook commented on one of my posts and shared some information with me, which I hadn't come across. So thank you, David Fife. So long before the Cline house was a library, two elderly sisters lived in that house. Their names were Miss McLennan and Miss Garth, and they were connected in some way to the original Clines. My mother worked there every evening preparing their supper. After the house was sold, likely to convert to the library, the ladies moved into the green bungalow located on the northwest corner of 2nd and McConnell Street, directly across the St. Lawrence School. So he said he would often go to the house and fetch lunches, and his mother was there who would fetch lunch for the two ladies. So these are the two surviving members, I believe, of the McLennan family, which would be Ella being one, and the other one, no, I forgot to upload it. I found the obituary for Miss Garth. So Miss Garth was one of the McLennan, was Ella's sister. And her and Ella lived here before the library bought it. So this is after Ida. So they lived out here, the last of the Cline clan, even though, married into another family. They had the blood, but they were living here. They didn't die here. They passed away probably at that home that they moved to. But no, and they're able to share also that Ella was a golfer, and she was pretty good. So I thought that was pretty cool. So we didn't get into Sam and Margaret's death, which we can definitely jump into. So a year after their 50-year anniversary, that's when Margaret Cline passed away, and that was a brain aneurysm, which is sad that it happened so soon after their golden wedding. Now, I do have their death certificates. Samuel, unlike his children, did not die from a heart attack or a cerebral hemorrhage. So let's pull out what I found on their deaths. All right, here we go. Samuel's death. So his death certificate. Lived to 1908, 93 years old. And his place of death, 2nd Street East, which would be here at the home. Dr. C.F. or C.J. Hamilton. So I think that this was B. Hamilton's father, who was also a doctor who looked after the family. That's my guess. Just later on, it was B. Hamilton that was signing the death certificates. So he died of senile gangrene, and he was suffering with this for 3 months. So I don't know what part of his body was affected by the gangrene. Really, that's all we get, senile gangrene. So he must have had an infection somewhere on his body, got worse and worse, and it ended up taking his life. And he passed away here at the house. And this is all I could find for the death of Margaret. And you probably can't see it. She died 2nd Street, October 22nd. And she died of heart failure, not a cerebral. What's wrong with that? Heart failure. Ooh, here's the wooden object. J.D. Cline, 1865. So J.D. Cline would have been 13 years old at that date. And, we were looking at it today, and it seems like an interesting project that a teenager would do, create a bat.
And where do you want me to bring it? Like on this camera?
What could have that been used for? I still think it's a game. I think he made a bat for a game because baseball saw it in like a magazine or newspaper, and he's like, let's make a bat, and his friends would get together and they would play ball.
Just got tired of shading it down and left it a big bat.
Yeah, or maybe they figured that it was more fun with a big heavy bat, because that thing is heavy. I mean, what is that? So I mean, it's an interesting piece. So if Samuel Cline is here, he probably would remember the work that John Dickerson Cline, his son, would have put into that bat. So maybe it will stir something up here, and they'll communicate. Like, this place has never been investigated. They don't know what investigators are. If they are here, they probably, no one has really come in here to kind of communicate with them or reach out to them. So I mean, nothing could happen or something can happen. Starting in this room, we'll have a spirit box session. This uses guitar pedals to reduce the white noise and add a reverb to any voices that come through it. We'll turn it on, we'll introduce ourselves, we will talk to the Cline family and see if we get any responses. So, Cline family, my name is Elliot and Eric is here with me, and we were invited here tonight to communicate with you. The people here experience you from time to time. They hear your footsteps, they smell smoke, doors open and close, so there's a presence that is felt here. I had the pleasure of looking into your family, digging deep into where you came from. So I'm hoping you can introduce yourselves to us now. This device that you hear, you may have never seen it before. Go up to it, look at it. Maybe it's possible for you to communicate with us through it. Go up to it, look at it. Maybe it's possible for you to communicate with us through it. So experiment with it and use it and try to introduce yourself. It's Sarah?
Something like that.
Yeah. We were only here as your guests. We wish you to host us and to communicate with us. You may find it unusual that we're trying to speak to you. Maybe you understand that you go about your days here unseen and unheard. But we are here to visit with you, spend time with you, and we hope this evening that you can make yourself known to us. Be hospitable to us. Do you see the home as it is now? Can you see it as an art gallery? Oh, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah, that was very creepy.
Are we welcome here? Are you okay with us being here and communicating with you? Maybe if we move into the other room, you may be more comfortable to go up to that device and speak. In this room here, we have a device on the table with a red light. Feel free to go up to it. All you have to do is touch that antenna and it will make a sound. Or Samuel, if you're here, did you go into your
We'd like to address you properly so you can give us your name.
Samuel, was your father living here when he passed away? Did he move in with you in this last year? Okay, no joke. Like, something poked me in the back.
Really?
Through the couch. It was just so weird.
Are you with Elliot?
It literally felt like a nudge, like through the cushion in my back.
Scary.
I'm just waiting to see if I feel it again, like this. I'm moving around to see if it was like a spring or something. I don't know. There's not even springs in the back of this.
No.
But what's the back? There's like a wood board back there. Keep trying to learn that box in the other room. Just fool around with it. Just see how it works. I mean, this is not like a lot of our other sites where we're in there all the time using the same equipment, and you know, they seem to have a grasp of it. We're only going to leave that box on for a little bit longer because we want to be able to pick up your real voices, and we can't do it when that box is running, so we're just going to leave it on. So
That was loud.
yeah, it was like me or something. Me. We're really hoping that we can hear one of your names from that box, so we know who's here and who we're speaking to.
Can you knock on a wall or give us a sound?
Sound like bullshit.
It did sound like bullshit.
Like straight up, they sound like bullshit. I don't know if you guys could probably hear that better than us because we're in the other room, but we heard bullshit. I don't know, maybe it was something else. But does that sound like any of their names? No.
No. Are you happy that we're here?
I was sad to read about John Dickinson Cline. He died so young. Samuel, you must have been proud of him to become a doctor at age 25. Moved to Montreal on his own. We came across an object that could be his, and we put it on the table in the room where the noisy box is. Has his initials on it, J.D. Cline, 1865. We're trying to figure out what that object is. So Margaret or Samuel, if you're here, you may remember John and what he made when he was 13 years old. Do you recognize the object on the table? The wooden object?
What is it?
We put that flat. I hate when I talk over the damn voices. Drives me crazy. We need more silent pauses. As I was saying, the blue flashing light in there, you can go up to it. Let us know that you recognize the object, the wooden bat-looking thing. Yeah, the poke in the back though, that was so weird. It wasn't, it wasn't soft, it was hard.
Was it like a fist size? Or was it like a...
Yeah, it was almost like a 2-finger like nudge in the back. And it was like through the fabric of the couch. But there's wood under the upholstery, so I don't know how that'd be even possible.
If you touched Elliot, can you do it again? Touch him through the couch. Give him a little nudge. Is he sitting in your chair?
Heard something did.
We set up a chair over there for you to go and sit in to look at your garden in your little garden nook. You can go and spark up a smoke, look at your beautiful garden. None of this equipment is going to hurt you or anything if you're worried. It's all... What was that? None of this equipment is going to hurt you or anything if you're worried. It's all... None of this equipment is going to hurt you or anything if you're worried. It's all... What was that?
We're too far to like...
Yeah. All this equipment is to communicate with you. To show us that you're here so we can ask questions. So if you can give us any sign at all that you're here, we can take our time as you have to learn all this stuff, and then maybe we can answer some questions that you have. Elliot's leaving us. Can you come and touch this red light? Or if you're in the other room, you can touch that blue light. It'll let us know that you're here. A lot of family came through this space. Lots of people died. That was clearly a woman's voice. To the lady that's trying to communicate with us, can you tell me your name? Try very hard. Tell me your name. My name's Eric, and I'm from Ottawa. Elliot just got some cat balls.
You might find these fun to play with.
All you gotta do is use the little bit of energy you might have and try to push that ball. It'll give us an idea of where you might be.
So those balls I just placed around, you can touch them and they'll light up. Touch them and they'll light up. It's that like a straight up leave?
Yep.
Probably got shivers from that.
Do you want us to leave?
So, Ted is watching online and he mentioned that there's a Verna beside Eric, so
Verna.
if there's a Verna here,
It's really cold all of a sudden here.
can you make that known to us? Yep, we're here. It's a strong female voice. Can you say Verna? Can you say that name? All right, we will turn off the box and listen to the house. I know that's what Kyle enjoys. So Margaret, someone was here recently and they were doing a tea leaf reading. And they got an image of possibly you by the fireplace here. Samuel and Margaret, I'm sure that you stayed here in spirit to watch over your children. To support them here in this house. It stayed in your family for 100 years. Your children were born here, and many of them passed here. It's an important house to your family. You must be happy that to this day it is still called Cline. That your name is remembered here. And it will be remembered. And it will be remembered for a long time from now.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's a weird sound.
Yeah, from over there.
Maybe Kyle moved around?
Yeah, maybe.
The Cline family here, you can try to speak as loud as you can to communicate whatever you wish. We can try our best to hear you. But maybe, or we hope, that we can capture your voice on our recorders. And voices were recorded in your time, so I think you know what I mean. That our conversation with you now is being recorded. And even though we may not hear you now in the moment, we hope to later when we listen to the recording. So we're gonna put a special camera on us. Don't want to hide anything from you, but if you're here standing with us, in this living area, maybe this camera will see you. So I invite you to come and stand with us by the fireplace. Join us here in this living area. And be social with us. Was that you? Was that you?
Like my lips?
Do it again? No. It sounded like paper shuffling or something. That coldness is gone now. It's like it's...
Yeah, I was really cold here when you were talking about Velma.
Mm-hmm. About who?
Was it Velma? That Ted said?
Oh, Velma.
Yeah.
Yeah. You picked up on cold around Velma.
Yeah.
Don't know. Said Velma said that she was 104 years old.
Jeez.
That would bring us to 1919. Didn't come across any Cline family built at that, or born at that time.
Velma, were you a part of the Cline family? Captured a woman's voice a couple times. Is it you, Ida?
Like audibly or through the spirit box?
Through the spirit box.
I guess the more I ask you to trust these little toys that we have out for you, the more you'll distrust them. Or maybe when we leave the space, that's when you'll go and play with them. But everything that we have out is harmless. And it's simply there to give you a means to communicate with us. Because we're not sure if, you find it maybe just as hard to see and hear us as we do to hear and see you. I've always been curious about that.
Like, are you yelling at us, trying to communicate with us, right? Like, yes, I can hear you. Is it annoying that we ask the same questions sometimes?
Or maybe we're causing activity in their world.
In their world,
and they
yeah.
can't understand it.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a movie like that with Nicole Kidman?
Oh, The Others?
Yeah, where at the end, she was the ghost.
Her and her kids are the ghosts.
And then the living people were the ghosts for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it is like that. Maybe they don't see or hear us like we don't see or hear them. Just experience them from time to time. We're having some quiet time right now because we're hoping that we can hear your true voice. We still have the basement to explore.
And the upstairs.
And the servants' quarters upstairs.
Do you want us to give you a bit of time to see if you can figure out these machines? And it might be a little nerve-wracking with us sitting right here, almost like we're trying to catch you. We're only trying to catch your voice. We don't want you to leave your home or your space. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's like over this way.
We mean you no harm at all. We've driven a long way and we've prepared quite a bit of stuff just to be able to hear your voice. We are here for you. I know it's hard to trust strangers, but we are sincerely just here to experience you.
I don't know, I feel like something's watching.
From over there, man.
Yeah. I keep looking over there. I just want to mark, I thought I heard like an audible breath, like a type of thing. I just want to mark, I thought I heard like an audible breath, like a type of thing.
Wasn't me, because I feel like I'm holding my breath right now. When we said that there was something there.
That was your nose, right?
That's me taking a deep breath. All right.
When you were alive, did you believe in spirits and ghosts? You're Presbyterian. Presbyterian became United. They're kind of more relaxed about things.
You come from a time where religion was very important. It meant a lot to people. Communities thrived based on their religious communities, and the communities are not so small anymore. Everyone has their own beliefs, and that was a weird sound. Everyone has their own beliefs, and that was a weird sound.
What was that?
Was that like, it was like...
It was towards you, I thought.
It's over there.
Interesting. I don't know if Kyle...
I'm sure Kyle picked that up.
Look at...
Like
That's
that.
Kyle.
Kyle, was that you?
No.
Yo, that was over there.
Really?
That was over there.
I heard it clearly.
All right. Oh wow, I just felt something pushed here.
On your stomach?
Like down on the side, like my shirt went down. Oh wow, I just felt something pushed here.
On your stomach?
Like down on the side, like my shirt went down. I have goosebumps.
No. Kyle, did you do anything?
What the hell was that, Elliot?
It sounded like a thud, like someone dropped heavy. Like,
No, it sounded like somebody said something. Like I heard like a who? Who?
What the hell's that?
I heard a couple of EEPs there.
It's like all over. It's like that thud, like voice sound was behind us. Then we got those voices, like whatever the pinging sound is over there.
And it was like
And then all of a
so
sudden, it was
silent.
Like, it was like small little pebbles hit that wall over there. It was so quiet before.
It was like you couldn't. There was nothing.
Made you jump out of your chair.
Well, because it was behind me.
Oh, that was good.
All right. It's starting up. Had me worried for a second there.
Well, that was good. I enjoyed that. Thank you. You know, there's a lot of mirrors here that what used to be, I guess, large windows at one point. Feel free to tap on them. Any window that's here. I know some locations, that's something that is experienced often by spirit, is that they'll tap on windows, glass panes, so feel free to do that. Don't knock any art off the wall, please. We don't want any of this lovely art to be damaged.
You heard that whistle, right?
No? You heard a whistle?
Yeah.
As Eric mentioned, sometimes we experience whistling at sites, and we can whistle and you can whistle back. Try one more time.
It's like dead silent again.
Yeah, it's like just a little wave of like sounds all over the place.
And there's no wind outside. You haven't touched any equipment yet. You want to give that a try?
But remember at Perth Jail, a place that's never been investigated, we went in there with all this equipment.
Yeah.
Not a single thing was triggered.
Because they don't know how to use it.
Because they don't know what it is. Right here, I think it would be the same thing. They don't know what this stuff is. But at Perth Jail, we came out with so many EVPs, like crazy EVPs.
Well, Kyle's saying he's already catching them, so.
So here may be the same thing. They're just not familiar with the devices.
They're using old school communication.
Or they're just not, they don't trust it.
Or they think we're ghosts.
Maybe. Those sounds were cool though, because it's strange to have a long period with nothing.
We started talking about how there was something watching us there.
Yeah.
Then there was thuds coming from over there.
They're more like pings or something.
Yeah, and then there was that water drop or whatever. Then you had this weird trickling.
No, before that, it sounded like someone dropped like 50 pounds of like linen behind me.
Yeah.
You thought it sounded like a voice,
yeah.
But to me it sounded just like a big heavy quilt and someone dropped it on the ground.
Yeah, I mean it was a voice. I heard a voice.
Yeah, the trickling, well, whatever, to me it sounded like someone took like very fine, like, not sand, but you know, like where's little pieces of like stones and like threw a few at the wall.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like to me.
And now silence. Can you make any of those noises again?
Samuel, you passed away of gangrene.
Gangrene, eh?
What part of your body was affected?
So he had an infection? Like, what does that mean? He went into like the water with a cut or something?
Gangrene, yeah, it's just an infection of a wound or a sore that
it just gets
you literally like have to cut off.
Yeah.
Or it just spreads and spreads and takes you.
So he didn't have a comfortable death.
He dealt with it for 3 months, I believe it said.
3 months.
On the death certificate. He was 93 years old.
Oh my God. 3 months at 90-something years old with gangrene. That must have been horrible, Samuel. Do you think when you pass, like if there is something after this, that you remain the age that you passed at? Or do you think you go to your prime or something?
I've read a lot of spiritual books where they say that when you cross over, you're like at a 30 state.
So you're prying pretty much.
But I think in spirit, you can probably choose to represent whatever stage in life you want. Because I don't think there would be age. It's just you and
It's
your
just
energy.
Yeah, because there wouldn't be
And
time.
however you want to project yourself, that's how you project yourself. Maybe for spirits who haven't made that transition, maybe they remain in the state they were when they were alive.
I'm getting that cold chill again.
I'm getting a lot of head pressure.
Yeah, it's all in my back. I think I'm gonna need a break soon. How are you feeling? Man, the ceilings are beautiful in here. That wouldn't have been original.
What, the design work?
Yeah. You think?
Yeah, I think so. Because the original staircase would have been like right there going up, so the area where there isn't any like design in the paneling,
Oh, I see.
that would have been the original staircase going up there to the bedrooms.
Oh,
That was this.
do you smell that though? It's like hairspray.
What?
Yeah, I have like a phantom smell happening right now.
Hairspray?
Yeah, like almost like a perfume-ish hairspray chemical, you know? You don't smell that? Yeah, I smell that, but...
No. I smell Sir John Johnson house.
Now that you say that, this spot does remind me of Sir
Just
John.
age. It smells like age, like an old home.
And that very white area that they have that's all done up looks like this. All right, well, I think I'm gonna take a break and then make my way upstairs. Do they?
Kyle, before we wrap up, get your butt in here and tell us about what you've been hearing on the audio.
Yeah, so, what are we here? So, but woman voice, I heard that. Definitely a woman.
You heard a female voice?
Yeah, female voice.
Did
yeah.
we hear it?
Hey?
Did we hear it?
Did you hear it? There was bangs going on at the same time, you know?
Bangs, like from us?
Oh, that's
No,
when
no.
all that stuff was
No, when
happening.
that stuff was happening there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the loudest one wasn't those thumps, it was that high pitched ting. Did you hear that?
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
drop.
that's what we thought
Yeah.
was like a pin drop. or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, it was very loud on the audio there.
So then
that was
something
the
was
loudest.
loud.
I heard some thumps that you heard, and yeah, it's and there's some later stuff that I'm not sure. You'll have to check that out later, but that might be EVP, you know.
Did you see any stick figures pop up on the screen?
No.
So that just shows you, if you use an SLS, static, leave it
Static.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Don't
Do
be
not
walking around
move
with
it.
it.
Yeah, you'll have too many false positives if you bring it mobile, you know, and it could be on off the windows. Look at all the windows in here, eh? And
Yeah.
like the paint itself, the lead in the
Has
paint.
shine,
Yeah, it could be multiple things, you know. And I've done a lot of testing with it at my place. I was standing up in front of the camera, and it made a little stick figure. It looked like it was laying on a couch, smaller than me. I said, wow, because it projected off, it wasn't a mirror, but a shiny surface that I had on the wall, and it made it smaller, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's so many false positives with that. You have to keep it static, for sure, yeah.
All right, the servants' quarters. I'll put the music box on the windowsill. It's pretty dark in here. And place. There. All right. Just waiting on Eric to come up. The light's out. My goodness, it's dark up here. So I'm here by myself. If you followed me up here, there are devices here to let me know. The millimeter here just flashed, indicating that there was a temperature change. If that was you, can you do it again? If you go up to the windowsill, you may be able to play music for me. Hearing something in the corner. Hearing something in the corner this way. And what's over there is just a pile of, wow, I'm hearing a lot more sound there now. Wow, I'm hearing a lot more sound there now. Is there somebody in that corner? Can you make more noise? It's stopped now. It definitely feels different up here than it does downstairs. Maybe it's because I'm alone up here. Can you go and stand by the window for me? I would love to hear that music with you. It's a nice little tune. Come up to the table beside me. The little black box I put there, if you touch it, it's going to make a pretty loud noise. You can always touch that one. Get my heart jumping a little bit if you do. Okay. So I think that was a blue light stating that it's picking up on a cold spot. It's called an ATDD tension sensor, ambient air temperature changes. If you can go up to it and try harder to make it flash more or make it sound. It's just air coming up the stairs. I have the music box on the windowsill, so it'll probably go off if you walk by.
That was weird. That was weird.
Oh yeah, when I realized like all sorts of weird noises from this corner was happening and then just stopped. Like before when I was alone up here. So we'll try an Estes method. Now that Eric's up here to ask questions.
So, Ellie can't hear the questions I'm asking now, so if you can respond as loud as possible so that he can hear you, maybe you can answer my questions. So, if I have somebody from the Cline family here, can you tell me who I have here? Give me a first name.
Right now,
Yeah, you can tell me right now. Just tell me your name so I know who I'm talking to.
run away.
Okay. Are you hoping that we'll run away? I mean, you would have to kind of scare us a little. Whose room was this? Was this the servant's space? We believe that this might have been the servant's quarters back in the day.
Now whatever.
Were you a servant here? Did you live here? Were you a part of the family? Or were you an employee? If there is somebody here that wants to communicate with us, can you tell me your name? Tell me your age?
You're able.
Ida, Samuel. We got a Sarah earlier. Is there a Sarah with us?
Connect.
Can you tell me what the object is downstairs on the table? Can you give us a number? Tell me how many of you are in here.
I hear you okay? I'll speak.
That's great. I'm happy you can hear us, but you're going to have to put a little more effort and maybe create a little more energy for us to hear you. What did you do for a living? What was your job?
Six.
6, eh? So we were told you loved your garden. Can you tell me what your favorite flower was? Or your favorite plant?
Home a lot.
What did you do when you were home a lot? Did you spend your days gardening or? Did you spend your days gardening or just enjoying the property? It's a beautiful property. I know there was a balcony up
Felt it.
on the second floor that you guys used to sit on.
Eyes on me. You're lying.
Did they not used to hang out on the balcony up at the top? They now put a window in so nobody can go on the balcony. Used to be a door. What was that flash? Did you just do something for a flash?
No, I'm completely still.
No, but a light just flashed.
Oh, it's probably the temperature, not the
Okay.
ATDD.
Okay.
It went off a few times before.
So nothing was really catching. You were kind of saying it a little later. Like I did ask how many.
Well, there's a delay, like I process it, right? So there's
Yeah.
like a good 5-second delay before I spit it out.
So I asked for a number because I wanted to know how many of them were in here. I'm like, give me a number. It's pretty easy. How many?
Oh, that was the 6. I
And
was
then you
wondering
said
if
6.
6 came through so clear.
Yeah.
And the thing is that the total amount of Cline members that died here were 6.
And I did ask if it was Cline family or if it was employees like servants or something that were here.
Right now, I want you to say the name, any name. Just a name of somebody that may be here or our own names, whatever name you want. Let's see if Eric can give us the name. Okay, so no name.
Funny.
Why don't you tell us a number? Perhaps a significant number.
Yeah, and
Number, just any number, significant number that relates to one of you. And knowing the history.
he's on the ledge.
He's on the ledge, on the window. Well, then I should hear music because that's where the motion activated music box is. So if you're on the ledge, please play the
It's
music.
complicated.
It's not complicated. You just have to walk in front of it. Just walk in front of it.
It's not. We are.
You are not ones who trigger these devices. Is that what you mean? It's not who you are. So who are you? Tell me who you are. Are you not ghosts in the way we think of them?
Awkward sky. We can find you.
You can find us.
C'est important.
It's important. It's very important that you can find us. Are you here in visitation? Are you here from the other side because it's your family home? Are you not ghosts in the way we think of them? Are you here simply because you love the building and you're not trapped here? You're free to move around.
Watch yourself.
Should I watch myself because I'm being accurate? Who am I speaking with right now?
That was huge.
Who am I speaking with right now?
That was huge.
Is it Samuel? Robert? Ida? Lena?
Best friend? Get out. There was a fire.
Well,
Bills were kept.
Cornwall had a few fires.
Having a breakdown.
Having a breakdown.
Excuse me.
I'm hearing the
Hog
noise.
water?
I'm hearing the noise in that corner again. I don't know if there's like. It's really weird. Can you make more sound over there if that is you? Can you move something around? Are you standing at the top of the stairs?
Ça c'est grave. Getting a lot of French out of this.
I feel like I'm looking at you at the top of the stairs. I don't know. Just getting that vibe right now, looking straight ahead, that I'm looking at you. Can you come closer?
Program.
If that is you, can you come closer to me? Can you come closer to us? Who are you? I don't know why, but Lena keeps coming to my head. I don't know, just a...
Come back.
Lena, is it you that's here? I don't know, I feel like I'm entering like a trance, staring at the top of the stairs, and there's like white, wavy. I don't know, I can't explain it.
My favorite music.
It's getting really cold now.
And what? And your career? Our music?
Something is definitely moving in that corner. That was like wobbling of something. I can't see anything. It's so dark here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah? There's something like in that
I
pile
did
of,
this.
of stuff. You did that?
Over that.
I mean, it's very subtle whatever you're doing over there. If you're doing anything.
No, you're not.
If you can do something that's a little more significant, a louder sound, that'd be great.
You're hilarious. I hear you. There she goes.
There she goes. She gone?
We're all friends.
The cold just went away, so that's interesting. Like right before you said that, there she goes.
Awkward.
It's twice now you said awkward. It's not awkward to try to communicate with us if that's what you're trying to
That was
suggest.
French again.
Can you come up to this device beside the bed?
So I moved. The placement? Richard. La cuisine, so more French.
The kitchen. The kitchen is where we have basic.
If you. Friends. We're trying to believe.
I don't know if Eric just whispered, but that was kind of creepy. I don't know if that came from Eric. But
Boy, you need to. Equity. Please get.
Are there any servants?
Something died.
This would have been the servants' staircase coming up to this room.
That was the most terrifying voice ever, but I didn't hear what it said.
Is there a servant here? Still employed with the clients? Or was this one of the children's rooms?
Don't stop.
Whose room was this?
No.
Who lived in this space?
Different.
Did one of you pass in this space?
Tim? If I?
Tim.
God bless you.
God bless you.
Deep within. Chases. I see you.
I wish to see you. Can you show yourself to us?
I saw them. Mark's story. Behave.
Mark.
Anyone hear me?
I'm trying to hear you. Just can't make sense out of it. It's a bunch of random stuff. There's a little bit.
I've heard. We're moving. One dose, and you'll be approved. I don't know what the hell that was.
One dose and you'll be approved. I don't know. It seems like a bunch of random hoo-ha.
Are you people?
We're people. Are you people? Okay, well, I guess we should go see how Kyle's doing with his depth sensor and see if we can
God
get
damn it.
into that. Bunch of random stuff. Not that really connecting. I was having some weird experiences with
I was just freezing there with like goosebumps the whole time, man. That was
yeah, there was
exhausting.
a heavy cold that came through, and after you said she's gone, it was like got warm again. There's no heat in the building, guys. We did tell them to turn it off just so we wouldn't have the vents making all sorts of noise. All right, guys. So this is the depth sensor. So it's an interesting tool. So you're not going to see stick figures. What you're going to see is an impression of a figure if one shows up, or something that we've noticed are these strange black ball anomalies. And Kyle's tested to see if they're dust, and they're not dust. So we don't know what these black balls are, but they appear once in a while. So we'll go in and we'll sit in the parlor, and we will see if these balls show up or not.
Hey guys, so this new depth D2D program that we're trying out here, I just want to explain a bit about it. When you see a black ball the odd time rush across the screen, it's just sensing something that it doesn't know. Doesn't mean that it's a black ball going across there. What you're really looking for here is if it actually goes through the progressions in those line measurements. That's about like those lines on the floor, let's say, is a foot each. So if you see something that actually changes color going through there, then that's sensing something, more real, I guess. So we'll see what happens here.
This is kind of old school. You guys were doing this in your day, looking for water and whatnot, so you understand how they work. Try to come and approach me and move them around. Unfortunately, Erin isn't here tonight, and she's usually the one who's good at doing this, but I'll give it a shot. Eric and I both have had some successes working with this. So they're very still right now. To the Cline family, if you're here, Samuel, Margaret, Ida, Lena, Robert, if you're here, you can move these wands that I'm holding to interact and communicate. Maybe it's easier than the equipment we have out for you. We're also hoping to hear your voice while we do this. So I want you to open up the wands for yes, and I want you to close them for no. So if there's someone here that wants to communicate with me through this means, I'm holding them still and they're not moving now, you're welcome to come here and open them for yes or close them for no. Do you want to communicate? Slow move to a no. Relax a bit more. Well, by saying no, you are in fact communicating. So does that mean you want to communicate really? Can you use them to point to where you are in the room right now? Completely still.
I feel like we're making you nervous.
Yeah, I get that vibe too. There's a vibe like if they're here, that they're, unsure of what we're doing and why we're speaking to them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, why would all of a sudden would these people be in here in the
See
dark?
that rocking back and forth? That's so weird.
What's rocking back and forth?
The wand.
I can't see them.
The left-hand one. Even in the IR you can?
No. You can see it a bit.
Oh, they're like rocking back and forth. Are you doing that because we're right, that you're unsure? That you don't know what we're doing here and why we're doing this? It's simple, it's just communication. We just want to spend time with you. I've never seen wands do that before. Like going very quickly, one way to the other, back and forth, back and forth. Never stop. Can you move them to where you are in the room, please? I want to know which way to look. Are you in front of the table or behind the table? Let's say in front of the table. Are you standing directly in front of me? Can you open them for yes? If you're directly in front of me?
Are we speaking to someone from the Cline family?
So weird, like how they're rocking back and forth and stuff. It's very unusual. Kind of want to put them in this plant. If I can. Just kind of side by side. I'm curious if they would move in there. Try a different type of spirit box. This one uses or utilizes electromagnetic fields to dictate the sweep rate and speed of which it moves through the radio frequencies. It's interesting. So if you come near it, maybe you can control it. That's the idea. So it's not a very loud box. I'll turn it on now and we'll just see if you want to speak. Samuel, I think that if anybody's, I think that's Sam.
That was a creepy voice, man.
Samuel, if you're here, can you tell me which one of your children are here? Someone, who is this? Like, you know this. Can we have a name of one of the children? Samuel, what was your wife's name? Sound like nothing.
Yeah.
Samuel, what was your father's name? I find your family reuse names a lot. What was your wife's middle name? Allison?
Samuel, did everyone call you Samuel, or did they have a short nickname for you? And if so, what was it?
They call you Sammy?
What was that?
It's my Sam. The sound like a woman saying my Sam.
Yeah.
Kyle, you getting any black bubbles over there? Nothing at all. Nothing, eh? No black bubbles. Samuel, did you know your grandfather, Michael? Did you get to spend time with him as a child? Were you close with your loyalist father and grandfather?
Did you like living in Cornwall? Did you hear that? It's like a shift.
Like while you spoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something.
We spend a lot of time in Cornwall and have, I think, learned to love this community. I could see why your family would have stayed here so long. What did you say, 100 years their family stayed?
100 years. 1854 to 1955.
Cornwall is probably much busier than you remember it. It's a pretty big city now.
I didn't see anything in my research about your family, about your father, Sam, John Sr., fighting or taking part in any type of military during the War of 1812. He was enlisted during the Revolution. But I didn't see mention of anything for the War of 1812. Did he participate in military actions to defend Canada against the Americans? You took part in the defense of Cornwall in case of a Fenian invasion.
The Cornwall jail isn't too far from where we are now. We spent a lot of time there. The Fenians escaped the Cornwall jail.
You must be familiar with that property. It's not too far from here. Your son Charles and your son-in-law Donald McLennan were there quite often in their positions as lawmen and lawyers. Did you ever have an opportunity to visit the Cornwall jail? Did you hear that high-pitched female sound? Like, did you breathe and like do like the throat whistle or anything?
No, my mouth's closed.
It just tells you, like with the equipment again, it's like, you know, all the sites we do the public investigations at, and you know, the stuff triggers all the time,
Yeah.
non-stop.
Yeah.
And now here, at a new location, again, nothing triggering. It's so interesting. And we've moved that music box all over the. So interesting. And we've moved that music box all over the place. We haven't moved the flux, but I mean, we've had REM devices out and, you know, cat balls and like nothing. And like, I don't know if there's a single group that goes through the Cornwall jail that doesn't get any type of,
Yeah, no.
you know, triggering on the equipment. I want this black mass to show up.
Can you show us you're here? Come and sit down beside Elliot. Oh, sorry.
I think they're like, if they're here, they're kind of like keeping a distance and like curious and looking from a distance. I don't know. I'm hoping that at the end of this, when we review all the audio, we'll find all sorts of things. That's what I'm kind of hoping for. And the reason why we're sitting and not moving around is because these floors, they creak so much. It's nicer just to sit quietly and listen so we get good audio. You know that we want this so badly for you to interact with us somehow. And I don't know why you're shy, or maybe nobody's here.
Or you're unsure?
Maybe you're above all this and, you know, you're not earthbound spirits or ghosts, and that this is your home and you come here to spend time once in a while and visit and, you know, we're beneath you. The dowsing rods and the plant still hasn't moved, still open. We're not hearing any noises like before either. The ping and the weird sound and the little stones on the wall. That was interesting. I never seen you get out of that chair so fast.
That's because it was behind me.
Oh, did I just hit something over there?
There it is again.
That was Kyle.
That was over there.
Kyle, was that in your space?
No, that's over there.
You heard it in here? Yeah. It's the same kind of like echo sound to it. There's such a distance, that's why I thought it was Kyle.
Can you do that again? It did it right away.
Yeah. What kind of interaction is that, really? Like, it's such a small little sound. Like, you must be able to do something else. You know, they report they hear your footsteps. We haven't heard any footsteps yet. Can you walk around for us? Sorry, Kyle, I was calling them warps because they've been a little long. And then maybe we'll send Eric and Kyle down to the basement in the dark to see if they can get anything down there. Maybe the basement's where it's at. Maybe that's what it's. But then why would any spirit hang out in the dungeon basement? Say something? Say something. I heard that. I know it's there. Yeah, no, I heard it. We're walking out there. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's like they buried all that.
Yeah.
All right.
It's yeah. I mean, it's just like this old flagstone I can't get over. You know, it's, you can tell she's old. These old beams here. Oh, nice asbestos.
Bonus.
Yeah.
All right. So we're here in the basement.
Oh shit! I should have said that.
What's that? I don't know if that actually is.
No, it's not. I'm just kidding.
Is it though? Pointed at it? Maybe. All these old buildings have some
yeah,
bit of
they all have it.
asbestos.
As long as you don't mess around with it. Like
Yeah.
I took a lot of courses on this stuff. And
Yeah. I wouldn't worry about it.
No.
All right, so we're in the basement where I always end up. In these beautiful places, I always wonder why would... You have no audio? Watch your head.
Yeah. Did that just happen?
Alright, so here we are in one small space of the basement. It's a massive basement. As I was saying, I always end up in the basement. I don't know why anybody would be down here, but we do often catch stuff down here. I wonder if they would have like kept bodies down here. You know, like if a body dies or something.
Yeah, I don't think Elliot said there was nothing. It stopped again.
It stopped again?
That doesn't make sense. Okay. Well, maybe there's something going on here because that shouldn't happen. Keep going. Okay. I don't know what's going on there.
Can you hear us at least? Can you hear us, Elliot?
I can't hear.
Elliot, you can't hear us,
He said very low.
Okay.
Oh. I don't know. It's been acting up all night. Okay.
Well, we don't have the live, really. Well, we have the live, but
Yeah.
no sound, but at least we have the recorder. If there's anybody down here, can you throw a stone?
It's the boundary mic. But can you hear it enough? Okay, well, you can still hear it, but it's not right, I guess.
If there's anybody down here, can you make your presence known? Can you throw a stone? Walk over? Samuel, I don't know why you'd be down here. Ida? If there's anybody here, can you try to communicate with me through this box? Just speak as loud as you can, alright? Tell me your name.
Elizabeth?
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
So I think we heard Elizabeth. If that's you, Elizabeth, can you tell me how old you are?
I'm 9? That was a weird voice, eh?
Yeah, it's a woman. Getting a woman's voice. Both times it was the same voice, so let's
Yeah.
try that again. Alright, Elizabeth, it's very nice to meet you. Happy you came to talk to us. Did you work here? What did you do for a living? Oh my god.
Oh, wow. I've never heard that.
That was like clear as day,
I've
man.
never heard that out of a box like that.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Alright, Elizabeth, I didn't get what you said there. Thank you so much for speaking so clearly. I didn't get your employment, so we'll try a different question. Were you a part of the Cline family, or were you a friend? Can you tell me what family you were a friend of here? What the fuck?
I've never heard something like that.
Yo, it's always the same woman's voice,
Yeah.
too.
Is that over here?
Heard something over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, Elizabeth. Were you a married woman? Can you say one of our names? Elizabeth, if you're still with us, can you tell me what your last name was? Like just dead quiet
Nothing
now.
now. Oh, well, I've never heard something like that.
Like so clear,
Yeah,
like same
like
voice
4
every
in a
time.
row. Yeah.
There is an animal on the top floor of this building that lives with the couple up there. That animal seems to be attracted to something in this place. Can you tell me what kind of animal that is? I didn't catch it.
No, it was 3 syllables. 3 syllables.
Alright, let's try that again. There's an animal that lives in this building. What kind of animal is it? I don't
Theater?
know what that word was, but
Theater?
it was long.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, why are you here? We'll have to slow that down.
Yeah.
Same voice though every time.
Yeah.
Alright, Elizabeth, we're gonna have to leave this space, but you've been talking pretty clearly. Can you say goodbye to us? Alright, we have to go upstairs now, and we're gonna do one more session upstairs just to see if we can catch anything else up there. I'm gonna try one more time, Elizabeth.
That's good. Who,
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
sorry. Yeah, I just Elizabeth. Who are we looking for upstairs? If you're down here.
Do you even know who's upstairs, or are you always down here? Are you stuck here? If so, tell me where you're stuck. Where are we right now? Can we help you with anything? Alright, Elizabeth. We're gonna say our goodbyes now, alright? Have yourself a great night, and we're gonna go upstairs and see what we can get. Have a good night. Bye.
Good night, Elizabeth. Well,
I don't know if that was goodbye, but...
I almost heard you too, I think. It's hard, so quick, eh, sometimes.
That's it, but some of them were so pronounced.
Yeah.
All right, Cline family, we started out with the portal box there, and we're going to end with it to see maybe if you're more communicative now. So Elizabeth, did you make contact downstairs? I wasn't really sure if you passed away,
Oh my god.
if you passed away here or not. You did?
Yeah, that's what I
You decided to come and live with your sisters after your husband passed away, is that right? When Donald died, you came here?
Elizabeth, you were talking downstairs. Can you tell me what your husband's last name was?
Pretty close.
Yeah.
What?
It kind of sounded like it. Yeah, that was clear last time.
God, you freaked me out. I thought you were at the base listening.
You want a bag of base here?
Well, you can sit down and hang out here if you want.
Yeah, no, I just want to watch. So,
All right, Elizabeth, you can come and join us over here. A lot of room on this couch.
Elizabeth, are your sisters here with you? Ida and Helen?
they're here.
That's what I heard.
Is your father here?
Yeah, this is the original birdcage porch.
This would have been a cool place to hang out. Samuel, are you here with us? Sammy boy? You guys haven't touched any of our equipment.
Someone commented they saw the cat ball go off in here.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Elaine. Elizabeth, can you come out here on the porch with us? Come over. All right, Sam, Margaret, thank you for having us in your beautiful home. To the children, Ida, Helen, Elizabeth, Robert, those who passed here and may still be here, thank you for having us.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for talking to me downstairs. That was the voice. Thank you, Elizabeth, for talking to me downstairs. That was the voice.
That was the voice?
That was the voice downstairs.
It's like you're welcome.
Yeah.
We know it takes time for you guys to adjust to this type of communication since it's never been done with you before. We're not disappointed. We're more curious to see what we found in the audio, to see if we came up with any of your voices. We will be back in the fall. Say stay?
Yeah.
Would you like us to stay the night? Is that what you're saying? Come. Well, maybe one time we'll have a sleepover here. Would you be able to confirm something for us? Did that Did that item that Eric is holding over there, did that belong to John Dickinson Cline? Did he make that in 1865? He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. Female voice. He did. Is it for sport? Is it for a game?
Or is it for clubbing fish? Did you hear that?
I didn't make it. Yeah, I don't know. Was it for clubbing fish? That would have had to have been some big fish.
Well, yeah, carp or whatever is huge fish. So what they do is they block like one part of it so that they all come down one side, and then they club it with a stick.
Sam, is that you telling us to stay? That's like a, that was so weird. I mean, it's the spirit box, so all sorts of weird noise comes through, junk noise. It's just strange. Okay, well, I'm gonna make my way to turn off the box. Don't go.
That was loud. That was like very clear, like how she was downstairs.
If you want us to stay that badly, can you say one of our names? Did you pay attention to our introductions tonight? Okay, we're gonna turn off the box.
Every time.
All right, thank you, goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
That was pretty good.
Yeah? It's interesting.